8. Acquisition structure. Maintaining operational independence. How acquisitions differ from mergers. An acquisition maintains two separate legal entities after the transaction closes. The buyer becomes the parent company with full ownership and control. The target continues operating as a subsidiary under its own corporate structure. Unlike mergers where one company dissolves, both companies exist independently post-acquisition. The buyer purchases shares directly from the target company shareholders. The purchase agreement is signed between the buyer and selling shareholders. For public companies, the buyer makes a tender offer directly to all shareholders. For private companies, the buyer negotiates with majority shareholders or all owners. Two primary acquisition types. Stock purchase transfers ownership by buying shares from target shareholders. The buyer acquires all assets and liabilities because it owns the entire company. The target company continues operating with the same legal structure and contracts. Customer agreements, supplier relationships, and licenses automatically remain with the subsidiary. Asset purchase transfers specific assets from target to buyer. The buyer selects which assets to acquire and which liabilities to assume. This structure protects buyers from unknown liabilities like litigation or environmental claims. However, each contract and license requires individual assignment and third-party consent. Accounting treatment. Under International Financial Reporting Standards and U.S. Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, both structures use purchase accounting. The buyer records the acquired business at fair market value on the acquisition date. Goodwill equals purchase price minus fair value of identifiable net assets. The acquired subsidiary appears on consolidated financial statements but maintains separate legal books. Asset purchases create stepped-up tax basis, allowing higher depreciation and amortization deductions. Stock purchases generally do not provide step-up benefits unless special tax elections apply. When companies choose acquisitions over mergers. Acquisitions preserve operational independence when separation creates more value than integration. Several strategic situations favor the acquisition structure over full merger integration. Brand value preservation. Companies acquire valuable brands but keep them operating independently to maintain customer loyalty. Procter Gamble acquired Gillette for $57 billion in 2005. Gillette continued operating as a separate subsidiary because the brand commanded premium pricing. Consumers associated Gillette with male grooming expertise distinct from P&G's household products. Integrating operations would have diluted brand identity and reduced pricing power. The acquisition structure allowed P&G to capture procurement synergies while preserving brand equity. Unrelated business portfolio diversification. Conglomerates acquire companies across different industries and operate them autonomously. Berkshire Hathaway owns insurance, railroads, utilities, retail, and manufacturing businesses. Each subsidiary maintains independent management teams and operational systems. Full integration provides no benefit because the businesses share no operational overlap. The holding company structure allows specialized management to run each business optimally. Founder and management retention. Acquisitions preserve leadership continuity when founder talent drives target value. Google acquired YouTube for $1.65 billion in 2006. YouTube founders and engineering team continued leading product development independently. Google provided infrastructure and advertising expertise without disrupting YouTube's culture. This approach retained the entrepreneurial team that created YouTube's competitive advantage. Regulatory and antitrust considerations. Maintaining separate entities can facilitate regulatory approval for transactions that would face antitrust scrutiny if fully integrated. Regulators may approve acquisitions where subsidiaries compete independently, but block mergers that eliminate competition. Integration approach and control. Acquisitions grant buyers clear decision-making authority without requiring coordination with target management. The parent company board of directors controls the subsidiary through ownership rights. The subsidiary board typically includes parent company appointees, ensuring alignment with strategic direction. This governance structure eliminates the shared decision-making complexity that slows merger integration. Selective integration strategy. Buyers choose which functions to integrate and which to keep separate. Back-office functions like treasury, tax, and legal often consolidate to reduce costs. Customer-facing operations typically remain independent to preserve relationships and brand identity. This selective approach captures synergies without destroying what made the target valuable. For example, when Facebook acquired Instagram, back-end infrastructure integrated while product teams remained autonomous. Speed of value capture. Acquisitions allow faster synergy realization because the buyer controls all decisions. The parent company implements changes immediately without negotiating with target management. Integration happens at the buyer's preferred pace rather than requiring consensus. Private equity firms favor acquisitions because speed directly impacts investment returns. Buying a company and implementing operational improvements within 100 days creates measurable value quickly. Common acquisition success factors. PwC research identifies 3 factors that predict acquisition success. First, maintaining target management continuity during transition prevents operational disruption. Second, defining clear integration scope before closing avoids scope creep that delays synergy capture. Third, establishing parent company authority while respecting subsidiary expertise balances control with operational effectiveness.